If you're thinking about moving to Miami, there's something I want to clear up right away. And that's that a lot of people imagine Miami as this endless vacation. Palm trees, ocean views, nightlife, warm weather all year. And yes, you would be absolutely right to think that all of those things exist here. But if you're relocating to Miami to actually live here and not just visit, there are a few other realities about the city that most people don't fully understand until they're already moved here. And the truth is, Miami is an incredible place to live. I can't imagine living anywhere else if you understand exactly how the city works. Because Miami isn't just another American city with beaches. It has its own rhythm, its own culture, and its own pace. And if you understand those things before you move, your transition here is going to be dramatically easier. But if you don't, then Miami can feel chaotic very quickly. So today I want to walk through the real picture of what it would be like to relocate to Miami, and not the tourist version, not the Instagram version, but what people actually experience when they move here. Because once you understand the dynamics of this city, it starts to make a lot more sense why people either fall in love with Miami or struggle to adapt. The first thing that most people notice when they arrive here right away is going to be the pace, because Miami moves fast. Business moves fast, real estate moves fast, and opportunities move fast. And the people who thrive here tend to be people who are comfortable operating in that kind of an environment. This is not a city where everyone waits politely for things to happen. Miami rewards people who take initiative. You'll meet people here who arrived with very little and built entire careers or even businesses within just a few years. You'll also meet people who moved here expecting the city itself to provide structure, and they end up feeling very overwhelmed. Because Miami doesn't hand you a roadmap, but it does give you opportunity. And what you do with that opportunity depends on your particular ability to adapt. And the second thing that people relocating here often underestimate is the true cost of living. Now, Miami is expensive. There's no point in pretending otherwise. But what surprises people is that the cost of living here isn't just about housing prices. Housing is going to be your biggest expense, but that's only one part of the equation. For example, if you're buying a condo here in Miami, the monthly HOA fees can vary significantly depending on which building you choose. Some buildings may have HOA fees of a few $100s a month, while others can easily be over $1,000 or several thousand per month, depending on that particular building's amenities and what services they offer. Insurance costs also in Florida have increased significantly over the last few years. And of course, your utilities can fluctuate depending on the season. In the summer, you can expect to be running your constantly, which of course is going to increase your electric utility bill. Parking in certain buildings or neighborhoods can also add additional monthly costs, but that also depends because in certain circumstances, units will come with designated parking spaces. Now, none of these things make Miami financially impossible. None of these things make Miami impossible financially, but they do mean that when you're calculating the cost of living here, you need to look at the full picture. And people who plan for those costs ahead of time tend to have a much smoother relocation experience. Now, let's talk about something that makes Miami very different from other cities here in the United States, and that is the cultural mix. Miami is one of the most international cities in the country. Spanish is spoken constantly. Many residents come from Latin America, Europe, or even other international backgrounds. Restaurants represent cuisines from all over the world. Business connections often span multiple countries, and this creates an energy that is very different from cities that feel more traditionally American. For many people that relocate here, that international influence is one of the most exciting parts of living in Miami. But it also means that this city operates very differently. Business culture can feel different. Social expectations can be different, And adapting to that cultural mix is part of the relocation experience. Now, there's something interesting about Miami that a lot of people will eventually realize, and that is that Miami amplifies momentum. If you arrive here with energy, you've got ambition, and a clear direction, this city tends to accelerate that momentum. Entrepreneurs often thrive here, and sales professionals who are comfortable every day building relationships also do very well here. Remote workers whose income is not tied to a specific location can also often find Miami to be an incredible lifestyle upgrade. But the opposite is also true. If you arrive here without any clarity, what you're building or pursuing, then the city can feel scattered because Miami itself doesn't impose any structure on you. What it does is provide opportunity. And the people who succeed here, they tend to be the ones who create their own structure, march to their own drummer. Halfway through this conversation, there's another reality about Miami that relocation buyers often underestimate, and that is lifestyle spending. Miami has a very strong social culture. We go out frequently here. Restaurants are a huge part of the city's identity, and fitness culture is incredibly visible here. Boat days, beach days, rooftop dinners, social events, these things are part of the rhythm of what is Miami. And although none of that is required, you can absolutely live a quiet life here if you want to. But many people relocating to Miami naturally get pulled into that lifestyle that this city offers. And when that happens, your lifestyle spending becomes part of the cost of living equation. Housing might be your biggest expense, but lifestyle choices can easily become the second biggest. So understanding that before you decide to make your move here can help you make smarter financial decisions. Now let's talk about the opportunity side of Miami, because this is where the city really becomes interesting and one of my favorite parts. Miami is totally different from what it was just 10 or 15 years ago. Night and day. Now we've got major companies now that have expanded here. Yahoo, Amazon, major companies have started expanding here. Entrepreneurs have moved here from other cities. Remote work has allowed professionals to relocate without sacrificing income. And the result is that Miami has become a magnet for ambitious people. You'll meet investors building portfolios, you'll meet entrepreneurs building businesses, and you'll meet professionals that are relocating here because they want to combine career opportunity with lifestyle. That momentum is part of what makes Miami so exciting. When you're surrounded by people that are building things, that energy has a tendency to push you forward as well. But again, preparation is going to matter. You have to understand the housing market, understand the pace of the city, and understand the financial realities. Because these are the things that make the transition into Miami so much easier. Now, if you're thinking about relocating here, the biggest mistake people make is assuming that Miami is just one type of lifestyle. And the reality is that Miami has multiple different worlds inside the same city. You have neighborhoods that feel very urban. You have others that feel extremely residential. You have some areas that are very fast paced and others that are quieter and a lot more relaxed. Choosing the right neighborhood can completely change the experience that you have living here. And in fact, in the next video, I'm going to be breaking down the best neighborhoods in Miami for relocation buyers because that decision alone can determine whether you absolutely love living here or feel like you chose the wrong area entirely. But the biggest takeaway that I want you to remember is this: Miami rewards people who come here with clarity and clarity about their finances, about their goals, and clarity about the kind of lifestyle that they really want to build. If you approach Miami with that kind of mindset, it can be an incredible place to live. But if you arrive expecting the city to figure things out for you, the experience is going to feel very chaotic and very quickly. So If Miami's on your radar as a place you might want to move, take the time to understand how the city actually works. Because once you do, you'll start to see why so many people choose to build their lives here. And if Miami's on your radar and you're not quite sure, but you want to talk it through, I'm easy to find.